Hi everyone, Adrienne here, and today I'm coming to you with my first impression of ColourPop's Good Sport palette. I did pick this palette up over the holiday time, so I got it on sale. I'm not sure if it was 30 or 40% off, but the regular price of this palette is $16, which is very reasonable for a 12 pan palette. And on the back of this palette, the names are printed. I don't know if my camera is going to come into focus, so I won't continue to hold it there. But it's that nice cardboard packaging with the magnetic closures, so I really like that type of packaging. And opening it up on the inside, it does not have a mirror, but I don't mind. I never use the mirrors in my palette anyway. And the names are printed underneath all the eyeshadow colors, and I love that about a palette because it is so inconvenient to look at the little plastic sheets and try to figure out what the names are to each of the colors. This is a 12 pan palette, as you can see, and I have to tell the truth about this palette. Initially, I did not want this palette when I first saw it. I did not think that I would enjoy the color scheme, so I kept putting off purchasing this palette. But eventually I thought that I wanted these two shades here, this bright yellow, almost golden yellow shade, and this lime green shade, and I also like this yellow shade here. And these were the three shades that made me purchase the palette, and I like the outer packaging of it. I think it's really pretty with that leopard print and the purple and the orange together, but I just didn't know if the colors would work for me. But since I'm so into like the different muted shades, I thought I would give this a try, and for $16 it's really reasonable. And ColourPop was a brand that at the end of last year, 2017, that I said I was going to add to my collection, and I didn't end up purchasing stuff at all from ColourPop until 2018 in the month of December, so I guess I'm like almost 2 years late getting started using ColourPop. But I'm going to go ahead and stick some swatches up so you guys can see what these colors look like on my skin tone. So now you've seen what all the colors look like on my skin tone. I will go ahead and show you how I created the look that I'm wearing today, and then I'll come back and give you some of my final thoughts on my first impression of this palette. To get started, I'm going to go in with this mustard shade here and just dust a little bit to set the primer. First, I want to see how pigmented this is and how well it's going to pick up, and it looks like it is picking up pretty well, and I'm just lightly blending it in. I'm going to take a little more and build it up on this side. I don't want to build it up too much though, in case it oxidizes and gets really dark. But this has got pretty decent pigmentation. As you can see, it's already showing up really well, and I just barely dabbed it, and this is my first time using this palette, so it was freshly pressed before I started using it. And I'm just looking at both sides, making sure I think they're even. I think I may take a little bit more and go up above. I'd like to try to use as many colors as possible. So for the next shade, I think I am going to go in with this color. And I'm just taking an e.l.f. blending brush, and I think that's going to be too wide, so I may need to get a thinner brush, more precision type. So I'm going to go in with this one because I really want to place it just in the crease, and then I'll go back in and blend it out. I don't want to lose that yellow color. Whew, and this brush is pretty hard. I know that looks like a mess, but I just want some color in there that I can blend out. And I have to stop with that brush. That actually kind of hurts a little bit. Maybe I can use this brush here to go in and blend that. Feels like it's going to stay right in the crease. And just buff out those edges. Just set this palette down. This is blending pretty well, and I don't set my primer. I forgot to say that I prime my eyelids with MAC's 24-hour extended eye base, and then with my MAC paint pot in Layin Low. So I don't always set it with a powder first. I sometimes like to just put it on the sticky base so that the pigmentation picks up better. So that is what I've done. And sometimes that makes you have to blend a little bit more because it's really sticking to the base, and that's what's going on now. But this is blending pretty nicely. It's not streaking at all, so I'm happy about that. Now I'll come over here, and it doesn't look like I have quite as much shadow on this side, but I'm going to keep bringing it in and see if I need to add any more. I'm going to pick a little bit up with this brush that I'm blending with and just bring it in. Ooh, that's really pigmented. I didn't expect it to be that much. Just working it into the inner corner and trying to even things out. This is a really nice shade. It's very pigmented. Coming into that inner corner. It's not wanting to stay on the inner corner. It's not blending in really well on either eye. I'm not sure why, but I don't need it really deep in the inner corner. Just a little bit of wash of color would be good. And on this side, I want to barely tap it in. And my eye is just, this eye is just a little more hooded than this one, so I always have to take it up just slightly higher right in here. And this is really building up pretty nicely. I think it would go on really fast if I'd set the primer on my eyes. But I like my pigmentation to be really vivid and not washed out. So I'm going to sit this brush down from the orange, and then I'm going to go back in with the first brush that I had with that yellow shade and just kind of blend out the edges. Because right in here, I kind of got a little carried away, so I just want to soften that. And I'm going to go do this eye. Sorry about the runny nose. I'm not really sure where I want to go with the eyelid. There's so many colors that I want to use. I know I want both of these, but as I'm sticking my finger in it, I don't know where to start. Okay, I'm just going to pick something and put it down. I think I'm going to go with this shade first and just kind of come in the inner corner. This shade is really glittery. Almost seems like it needs a base to get it to stick. So, and I'm going to go in with this color here and just dab a little bit on that inner corner where I'm trying to get that shimmery shade to pick up, because it's almost got like a blue glitter flecks in it. You know, I'm kind of liking the way this looks by itself without the shimmer. Let me see if I can find a small enough brush to build this color up. Okay, so I'm cleaning off that first brush with my color switch, and I'm liking this matte neutral brown shade here. It's kind of a reddish brown. I think I'm going to build that up in the inner corner and then go for that, I can't read the shades, I think it's Rookie, for a topper. Going in with Rookie now and seeing if it'll stick, and it doesn't seem to be sticking with the brush, so let me try to go in with it on my finger and see if I can't get it to go on. And it is. Okay. This side, it looks like I'm having a little bit of a hard time getting it to go on. Don't think I'm real fond of this shade. It's like, I don't think you guys can see it, but it's like blue glitter pigments. I don't know why they would mix that in with that color. It's an odd combination and it doesn't go on well. So I'm going to clean this brush off again because this is a good brush to pack on my lid shades, and I think I am going to go in with this color next. Just a little bit here. I don't want to go too far over because I'm trying to fit, oh, probably 3 or 4 shades on the lid. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just right down the center. Kind of like the spotlight color here. And it pats on really well. I'm going to build a little bit more over here. Okay, I'm going to flip the brush over, and this time I'm going in with this shade here. Oh wow, that is really intense green, and I don't want to blend it and lose either one of those colors, so I'm just packing it next to it because I'm going to take one of these purple shades and put it on the end. And I'm flipping the brush back over for that yellowish gold shade to bring it in a little bit more right here. And I'm getting quite a bit on the under eye because I keep closing my eye to build the color, but that's okay. I can clean that up with my concealer. And on the outer corner, I think I want, let me make sure I've got this over far enough so you can see this shade here. Just building it on the outer corner, and I know this looks like a mess, but I really am trying to get as many colors in as possible. Don't want to lose that green. I guess I still have a little swipe of it left. Okay, so I'm going to sit the brush down, and this purple here, I think I'm going to try to go in and add some of that in the crease. Okay, and so in the crease, I think I want to add this lighter shade of purple and just kind of blend that in with that orange. It's still going to pick up a little bit of that first purple shade that I put on the edge. That's okay. Oh, this is turning out really pretty. Let me go in on the other eye and bring it in. I may have to build a little bit more of that orange up a little bit higher so I don't lose it. These colors are building really well so far, and I'm really loving the pigmentation of the mattes. They're building up, all of it's building up pretty fast except for this shade here that I used, and it's really odd anyway. I'm not sure, like I said, that I care for it. Okay. Wow, that's coming up a lot deeper than what I expected. Just blending that in, and I think I'm going to sit it down and I'm going to go back in with this orange shade and just build the edges up a little more with that so I don't lose it. Coming in a little more with it. Getting to use a lot of shades, and I'm going back again with this yellow that I started out with and just going up closer to the brow bone. I'm not hitting the edges of the brow bone here because my primer, I like to leave it as a highlighter. I just like to come in to the eyebrow right in here, the inner corners of the eyebrow, so it's not stark white all the way across, but just softening and blending those edges. Gosh, this is really pigmented palette so far, and this look is really turning out pretty, and I'm going to come down and just blend all this together with this light fluffy brush towards the inner corner. Now I'm going to sit that down, and I'm just looking in my mirror to see what I need to add. I'm going to build this purple shade up in the crease just a little bit more on this side. I may go ahead and just pack it in there where I want it first and then worry about blending it out because I don't want to lose the orange. Just packing a little more on. Now I'll soften it up a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go in with this darkest shade and just put a little bit just right here, really on the outer V and not take it into the crease. I thought I would get to use this trophy shade somewhere, but I just don't have enough eye space left, so I'm going to lightly and precisely pack this on. I don't know what the shade's going to turn out like mixing it with the purples. Oh, that's really pretty. Just packing it on and kind of blending it into that outer V. I'm going to take a little bit more. And I think I'm about done here. I feel like this has gone really fast and not taken a lot of effort besides building that orange shade up, this shade here, because it was sticking to my, and I'm going to take a little bit more and just come into the inner corner. Besides building that shade up because of my eyeshadow primer, I think that that's the only color that took the longest time to build. And right now I'm going to stop and go finish the rest of my face with liner and lashes and the rest of my face makeup, and I will be back. And for my final thoughts on my first impression of this palette, I will tell you guys that I did go back in and I deepened the shade in the crease that I had here and just put a little bit more of the orange shade here just to intensify the color. And then I went in with this shade here in the inner corners of the eye to add a little pop. I didn't smoke out my lash line. A lot of times I don't like color on my bottom lash line, but I just intensified those colors a little bit more and then went in with a little bit more of that yellow up closer to the brow bone. So basically I just kept everything the same as what you saw me do. I just deepened the colors up and finished the rest of my face. But I have to say that I honestly enjoyed working with this palette and everything went on extremely fast. When I went back and uploaded my video footage of the part that I did with you guys on camera, it was only like 7 minutes. And that's even with getting started with this color and using that brush that I said was too hard and having to work really hard to blend it out. I thought the colors blended really easy and they didn't take a lot of time and a lot of effort to build. So the shimmer shades perform well. The only shade that I really didn't like at all was this one here. And like I said, it's got like a blue glitter in it, and it's like the glitter shade doesn't even go with the undertones of this color. I don't like it at all and how it performs. It performs a lot better when you put a base down like this, and maybe if you just put a sticky, some type of sticky base down and then put this on, pack it on right on top, maybe it will perform better. But I have to say, out of all the colors that I use in the palette, I think it's pretty impressive to only have one shade that I wasn't impressed with. I did want to get into this trophy shade, like I said, but I wasn't able to use that one or this one. So I'm looking forward to creating looks with those because I think, oh my gosh, I did use everything else. I used all these shades wrapped around here except for these two, so I'm pretty impressed with being able to get all those shades on my eyes for the first time, and I think the look turned out really beautiful. This would be a palette that I feel like you could wear for normal everyday wear and also for a glam look. I think this is going to be one that I'm in quite a bit, so there's just so many different directions you can go in with this palette. And I've been getting burned out on palettes that had orange undertones like this type of shade here. But for some reason, the color scheme and the rest of the grungy colors in here really called out to me. And it wasn't just that orangey brown look that we've had a lot of over the last couple years. This palette brings a lot of different shades that you wouldn't normally pair together in a palette. That's why I wanted it. You just don't see typically this color scheme put together in a palette. So I think ColourPop really did something really unique with this palette, and I do know that it is a pretty popular palette on YouTube, and I would imagine many other people that watch YouTube have probably purchased this palette if they've seen a lot of the looks that people have put together, because you can get a gorgeous variety of colors out of this palette. And if I had it to do all over again, I would definitely repurchase this palette, and I do recommend it based on my first impression. Like I said, there's only 2 shades in this palette that I didn't use, so eventually I will come on and create another look, probably record the whole thing for you guys. And I don't have anything negative to say outside of that one shade that didn't perform well for me. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. You're also going to want to hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so YouTube notifies you every time I upload a new video. See you guys soon.